So today we want to look at Amudei Hod.
I can stay only for 5 minutes or so.
Oh,
That's
you're
the
only here
best I
for
can
5 minutes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Torah is Torah.
Yeah, but 5 minutes is good. And we're looking at page Kuf Tzadi Beis. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is Simon Chav Ches, Mitzvahs Tibul Bekarpas. And the Mishnah establishes that if he has only Chazeres, only Morah for the first Tibul, then he uses Morah for the first Tibul, and then he'll bring out a second Morah later on for the second Tibul. And in this Simon, the Machaber wants to address the following issue. What happens if he only has one Kezayis of Marror? That's all he has. Should he use it for the first Tibul or for the second Tibul? And he's going to start his discussion with the sheet of Rashi and the Rashbam that you can accomplish the Hekera Latinokos on the first Tibul, because it's very unusual that you do the Tibul before the Suda, and that's enough to arouse the curiosity of the children. Now, the reason why we have two Tibulim, if you could already achieve your goal of Hekera Latinokus with the first Tibul, is because we want to eat the Maror after the Matzah. And that's based on the pasuk al Matzos umarorim yochlu. So now he has two Tibulim. He has a Tibul before the Suda, and that accomplishes Hekera Latinokos. He has a Tibul later on after he eats the Matzah, and that is for the sake of the mitzvah of Maror. Now, why couldn't they make a takana of eating a Kezayis of Marror from the beginning and have in mind l'shem mitzvah? And then he could kill two birds with one stone. He could be Makayim Hekero B'Tibul Mukdam and the Achil of Marror. And the answer is because the Torah says Al Matzos Umrom Yochlu, which gives me the sequence, and we want to first eat the matzah and only then eat the maror. So therefore we'll have the first tibul for Hekera, and the second tibul for the mitzvah of maror following the achilas matzah. Now, if he only has one Kezayis of maror, what should he do? Should he eat it before the matzah, and then he'll be mekayim with that maror two things? Number one, Hekera Latinokus. Number two, the mitzvah of maror. Or should he postpone the achilas maror until after the matzah, and he'll gain the al matzah rom yachlu, the seder of matzah first and maror second, even though he won't have the Hekera Latinokos, which he achieves with the first tibul. So that's the suffix which the Amudei Hod will address here in the Simon about mitzvahs tibul b'charosis. And on page Kuf Tzadi Gimel, he analyzes the Shakla V'Tarya of the Gemara here on Daf Kuf Yudalad Amid Beis, and tries to derive a conclusion from that Shakla V'Tarya as to whether or not he should eat the maror for the first tibul, and whether or not, in weighing the Hekera Latinokos versus the adifus of the seder of matzah and then maror, which comes first, which trumps which, and he's going to try to analyze the Gemara in the light of that issue, that Hakira, which is more important, again, Hekera Latinokos or the Kedima and the Seder of Matzah first, and then Maror second.